Good morning. So I actually watched this video last night, and so I might be a little foggy, but yeah, I watched this video, and my first reaction was, it's an hour long. I'm gonna die. But actually, as I watched it, it was actually really interesting. The first thing that I found really interesting that stood out to me was that 75 million kids can't go to school. And I just think that we take it for granted that we all go to school, we all have the opportunity to go to school, and I just think we take it for granted. And school is sort of a promise to us, and that's what they talked about in the video, but a lot of countries that promise is broken. And here it says that 10 million fight to stay in school, and most kids don't get past 4th grade. I'm in college, and it hasn't been that hard. I just don't see how kids can drop out, but being from a different country, I could see how hard that could be. I really liked how it said that parents want what's best for their children, and I totally agree. I want my kids to go to school. I want them to have all the opportunities that they can and all the opportunities that I didn't have when I was in school, even though I had a lot of opportunities. I also liked, it was interesting to see how 189 countries offer a free basic education. I'm not sure if our education is free, but that would be pretty nice. But we already have it as good as, they said that they would offer free education by 2015. I don't know where I was going with that. But anyways, one of the kids said that nothing comes without learning, and I totally agree. Our whole life is based on learning and growing and obtaining knowledge, and without knowledge there really isn't anything. The first girl, her name was Shugufah, and it was interesting to see how she wanted to be an engineer and a journalist, and how her love for school just grew and grew as she went to school. And a third of children in Afghanistan don't even go to school, so for her it was like a really good opportunity. And it was just interesting to see how into school she was, and how every day, even though in Afghanistan school is super dangerous, that she still was so excited to go to school each day. For me, if my school was being threatened with bombs every day, I probably wouldn't go. Yeah, I was just talking about how the Taliban's violence wants to keep girls out of school, and it was the other girl's mom, never mind. Some guy in the video was saying, what good will school do for women? What good wouldn't it do? I mean, school's a pretty good thing. Education is the obligation for every person. Everybody should have a chance to learn. And just because they're a woman or a different race, different gender, shouldn't determine if they should be able to learn or not. It was cool to see how religion must be taught in school. In elementary school and middle school, that wasn't really a requirement, but it's funny how in BYUI we kind of have to take religion classes, so that was pretty funny. And it was funny to hear Shugufah when she was freaking out. She's like, I didn't study for religion, I studied for English or something. I've been through that a lot of times, studying for the wrong test. Let's see. So Jefferson was from Brazil, and in Brazil they pay poor families to keep kids in school. That's pretty cool. And it said that the poorest kids only finish 4 years of school. That's sad. I don't know what I would do if my education ended at 4th grade. So Brazil is a lot safer than Afghanistan as kids go to school or just every day, but there would be random invasions, and so Jefferson's mom was always freaking out, calling and wondering if he was okay, but school is actually a place of peace and pleasure, and that's kind of true. What made me angry was how he was such a smart kid, and they even skipped a grade. Like, they put him in a grade above with his sister. But in the end, they ended up holding him back, and so he couldn't graduate. I'd be pretty ticked. Yeah, it was just stupid, because if you hold a kid back and you don't let him graduate, how is he supposed to move forward just because of his age? It doesn't make any sense. If they let him skip a grade in the first place, then why are they denying him opportunities now? Gotta read through my notes again. They said he wasn't mature enough for influences in the world around him. I don't think any of the kids in Brazil are. I mean, a lot of them end up being drug lords. He had a friend who was 3 years older than him and was already a drug dealer, and he was 11, I think. I think he's pretty capable of being mature and taking care of his education and putting priorities first, because he was really into school. He really liked it, and so I think he had his priorities where he needed them. The other girl, her name was Neeraj, and she was from India. She was 15 years old, and my first reaction was, wow, she's so beautiful. But people in India don't think women should go to school either. They think they should do chores all day and clean and get married. And they said in India that 25 million kids are not in school, and that was cut by 60%, but the numbers are still very high. They marry young, they do chores, and they have little opportunity for school. She wanted to go to a big school and study and become a teacher, and a lot of us have the opportunity in secondary education to go to college and to learn a lot more, but her opportunities for education were very low. She actually went to night school. I kind of knew that was like, because I had seminary, but it was in the morning, not the night, but it was still very dark, and I did not like it. Oh yeah, it was her mother that said, what's so good about education, and you just sit there and do nothing, because a lot of our kids, they did go to school, but they didn't use their education, they just sat around, and I think that's their fault. So she had to stop going to school to work. That sucks. And when she went back to school, she only qualified for second grade, and it was a lot harder for her to learn because she couldn't. I gotta move. And then Ken in Japan was in 6th grade, and I think Japanese kids are just very smart. That's all I've got time for, really. It was just cool to see how Japanese kids test a lot higher globally than others. That's all I gotta say. I think education is very important, and that it's cool to see how all kids have the opportunity to learn. And thanks for watching.